Hai, welcome to the Sulistyo Podcast. Kali ini kita ngebahas race di Assen yang berlangsung cukup seru, tapi sayang banyak yang crash dan juga ada pembalap yang cedera. Dan seperti biasa, saya nggak sendiri, saya didampingi oleh Imre. Halo Imre, apa kabar?
Kabar baik, kamu apa kabar?
Kabar saya pastinya baik, tapi kurang baik karena ngelihat Fabio Quartararo jatuh nih, dan apalagi cedera. So, can you explain to me why so many rider crash during this race? Is because of the hot weather or something else?
It was because the weather has changed. It was as hot as it hasn't been this year. It was 30 degrees. As asphalt was about 50 degrees. So the grip radically was reduced, and also tires got on their limits. So it was quite easy to crash.
The first crash was Jack Miller. What happened to him?
Jack said that the tires were not on temperature yet, and he miscalculated. He was very angry with himself because he said he could have had a real good race.
The second crash was very big crash between Johann Zarco and Fabio Quartararo. What exactly happened there?
So that was a real big crash for both of them. Zarco was very lucky that he escaped it. So Fabio didn't start well and tried to make up ground, and in a fast left-hander he lost his front end, and as Zarco was ahead of him on the outside, his bike ran straight into the bike of Zarco. So Fabio got in between the bikes, and it was really scary. But you could see how Zarco is, because although it was not his fault, he was taken out of the race. He immediately went to Fabio and looked after him because he saw that Fabio was injured. So Fabio already had a broken toe and overstretched ankle. Now he overstretched his elbow. They said it at first examination. There is nothing broken, but we can only confirm that when they will do an MRI somewhere in his home. So Fabio left Assen with a blaster on his leg and with his arm in a bandage.
So the crash of Viñales, Enea Bastianini, Fabio Di Gianantonio is all because the tire or something else?
It were almost all were front-end crashes. Maverick Viñales, he was simply ambitious. He wanted to get to the very front because he knew he had the pace of the top guys, but first had to pass a lot of guys. And he was breaking into the chicane. He was actually much too late and much too abrupt, so just his front and tucked in.
Oke, jadi kalau kita dengar, memang kebanyakan yang jatuh itu karena hilangnya cengkraman di ban karena udara yang tiba-tiba dari 47 langsung naik ke 50 derajat Celcius. Dan itu menyebabkan banyak pembalap yang terjatuh. Tapi kalau untuk kasusnya Viñales, selain dia kehilangan cengkraman pada ban, dia juga terlalu berambisi karena dia tahu bahwa dia punya pace balap yang bagus, tapi karena dia harus melewati banyak pembalap, jadi agak kurang sabar lah. Apalagi kan belakangan hasilnya dia tuh kurang bagus. Nah kalau Fabio Quartararo, itu sebenarnya Fabio yang kehilangan front. Ya dari awal dia memang sudah agak jauh waktu start dan dia berusaha untuk membalap, akhirnya dia terjatuh dan mengenai Zarco. Tapi yang paling keren di sini yang bisa digaris bawahi adalah Johann Zarco. Walaupun dia tahu bahwa itu bukan kesalahan dia, jatuhnya itu dia kebawa sama Fabio Quartararo, tapi dia tuh tetap langsung berdiri dan ngelihat kondisinya Fabio Quartararo gitu loh. Ya jadi respect lah, keren ini. Pecco finally won ahead of Bezzecchi. How could Pecco beat Bezzecchi this time?
As Ducati is sharing the data between all the riders, Pecco had a very close look at it, and he took the setup of Bezzecchi from yesterday. So this gave him an advantage. Bezzecchi had to use the medium rear tire because of the weather, and he used it for the first time. So he had to get used to it. Plus, Pecco could pass Brad Binder earlier, so This gave him an advantage until Bezzecchi could pass Binder. Pecco already had a gap and he could control the race from the front.
Oh, jadi karena di Ducati itu memang bisa sharing data semua pembalap untuk saling mendukung satu sama lain. Jadi dari warming up pagi tadi tuh Pecco sudah menggunakan settingannya Bezzecchi yang kemarin, dan setelah diuji coba di warming up makanya digunakan oleh Pecco di balapan itu, dan ternyata memang hasilnya sangat memuaskan sampai bisa bikin Pecco menang lagi di Assen ini. What was Brad Binder's reaction on his penalty for exceeding track limit?
So, yes, Brad Binder had the bad luck of exceeding track limit in the last lap twice. Once yesterday in the sprint and once today in the main race. So he got the checkered flag as third both days, but both times he got a penalty. So this time he lost 1 place. Yesterday he lost 3 seconds. Actually he said, I feel like brain dead doing the same mistake twice. But he swore that both on Saturday he did not realize when he exceeded the track limits, and also today he didn't. He exceeded it just by millimeters, and he said he didn't even feel that the tire was off the curb. But rules are the rules, so it caught him out both times.
Yeah, but maybe the positive thing that the bike is actually ready to fight maybe for the Silverstone, right?
That's what he exactly said. He said that it was the first time that they could gamble on a soft tire and he could still bring it to the end. Yesterday he said he's still lacking some traction out of turn 5 and turn 16. So actually the 2 places where it's acceleration from low speed, this was the only place where the KTM was still behind the Ducatis, but he said with the soft tire he had the acceleration that he could keep up with them, and you could actually see Bagnaia and Bezzecchi, they were superior in Assen. They could beat him more or less from corner entry, but everywhere else he could absolutely compete with the Ducati, and this is what he says. He's very happy because now he believes the bike is the best it has been all year, and he's looking forward to the second half of the season because he believes that the KTM can be fully competitive against the Ducati.
Okay, it's interesting to know about the slippery surface. Why did Pecco Bagnaia and Marco Bezzecchi have less problems?
Everybody had the problem, they could go better with it. So there was less grip, the track was more slippery. You could see, although the lap times were much better in qualifying than last year, the race itself was slower this year, and this was simply due to hotter weather condition and less grip. It was simply that Bagnaia and Bezzecchi could cope with this situation. At the beginning they were behind Binder, so they could follow him. But as soon as they could pass Binder, they could both stretch an advantage. It simply showed they had the experience, they had the knowledge of their teams, how to cope with that situation, plus they had the feeling.
Oke, jadi kalau dijelaskan tadi, kenapa kok Bagnaia sama Bezzecchi bisa kayak pergi aja gitu, nggak kehilangan cengkraman bannya. Sebenarnya mereka juga kehilangan, tapi ketika mereka di depan, suhu panas dari motor-motor yang ada di depan jadi lebih sedikit, dan dia akhirnya bisa melaju, dan juga dari teknologinya sendiri. Nah, mengenai Brad Binder yang dapat penalti lagi dengan kesalahan yang sama, itu tuh membuat Brad Binder ngerasa kayak, aku tuh otaknya buntu apa gimana sih sampai bisa melakukan kesalahan yang sama. Tapi di satu sisi dia tetap happy karena dia bisa meyakini bahwa motornya tuh udah benar-benar siap nih sekarang dan terbaik daripada yang pernah ada di KTM gitu. Oke, sekarang kita lanjut lagi pertanyaan yang sedikit menggelitik mengenai Marc Marquez. I'm little bit curious about the statement of Alberto Puig about the situation in Honda and Marc Marquez. Could you explain more about this?
It's difficult to say. At the moment, they have a very difficult time. Honda is struggling. They could not find a way out of the situation. All the experts say that it is the package that you have to get right with a combination of aerodynamics, chassis, engine, and electronics. And if you did not focus on any of the four, or if you didn't focus on all of the four, the package is not complete. So they have to find where they have the real problem and then make a new package. And also experts from European MotoGP teams say it will take those 3 years to understand the package the way like Ducati has. Now Alberto Puig sent Honda a list of people, experts, they should hire for next year if they want to get out of the situation. Now Marc Marquez has given it everything, and all that he got were more injuries. So at the moment he is nervous, Honda is nervous. It's difficult to judge what they are really up to. They have 5 weeks in the summer to evaluate the situation. It will be more. It should be clear when they return to the second half of the season if the rumors are true or if the whole thing was just due to the stress of this triple header where Marc Marquez went very ambitiously and got seriously injured.
Oke, jadi kita masih harus nunggu nih kayaknya sampai setelah liburan summer break ini, dan setelah itu kita lihat lagi Marc Marquez akan nge-ride di Silverstone kira-kira gimana, dan mungkin dalam waktu-waktu dekat itu kita bisa tahu keputusan apa yang akan diambil oleh Marc Marquez. Tapi yang terpenting adalah kita doakan dalam 5 minggu off ini semua pembalap yang cedera, Marquez, Joan Mir, Paul Espargaro, dan sekarang yang terbaru adalah Fabio Quartararo, itu bisa balik lagi di Silverstone komplit, full grid. Jadi kita bisa menyaksikan MotoGP yang lebih seru lagi. Kayaknya gitu aja dulu. Terima kasih sudah mendengarkan, dan terima kasih Imre atas waktunya. Semoga kita bisa ketemu lagi di 5 minggu ke depan di Silverstone.
Terima kasih, sampai jumpa lagi.